Hey folks, it is Joey Fameli here, video producer for Tested.com, and I am at the very beginning stages of a one-day build edit here, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you guys what my keyboard shortcuts are. I use a combination of only the keyboard and mouse, and I've kind of designed this stuff over the years to work for me in the best way I can, and I thought some of these tips might help you guys as well. So let's bring up the keyboard really quick here to give you guys a idea of what it looks like. So as you can see here, I have my own keyboard preset. This is designed off of years of other editing programs. I originally started on Avid in the early 2000s. I kind of used a lot of their keyboard shortcuts, moved over to Final Cut, and eventually to Adobe. So everything is kind of mixed and matched, but I think it for the most part, it follows Adobe's traditional keyboard mapping, but probably not. So here's just a quick glance at just the main keys, and then as you hold the different modifiers, it shows you kind of what I use there. But let's go through some of my favorites, the ones that I use the most often. All right, so the first keyboard shortcut is the JKL keys. These are ones that are probably used universally across all editing systems. These are the shuttle keys. J shuttles the playhead backwards, K stops that, and L shuttles it forwards. And if you click these multiple times, if I click the L key twice, you'll see it does double speed, and I can keep clicking it and go faster and faster. Or just hit K, stop it, and move backwards. This is just a kind of an easy way to use the keys to kind of find the right moment you're looking for and stop it right away, or just quickly move through a bunch of the sequence. All right, so the next keyboard shortcut is one that is probably also used universally across all editing systems, and that is the in point and out point keys. That is the I and the O. That will give you a in and out point to where you can do a number of other things. I use these mostly up in the source window to find a certain selection that I want. So if I want to start here and end there, and then I can insert these down into the sequence using the next keyboard shortcut I have set up, the F9 and F10 keys. These are the insert and the override keys. So as I go through the early stages of an edit, I load up a clip on the source window up here. I do in points and out points for the clips that I want, and then I use the F9 key to insert that clip into the sequence, and the F10 key will insert it in and overwrite anything in front of it. I don't use that one that much. I mostly just use the insert key because I'm not trying to overwrite things. I just want to pull a clip into the sequence without it disrupting whatever's going on in there. So the next keyboard shortcut I have is probably one of my favorites. This is the Ripple Trim shortcut. I have this set up to Q and W. Now what this does is it essentially deletes everything before the playhead or after the playhead. The Q does it before for me, and the W does it after the playhead. Now what this is good for is, especially in these early stages, is fine-tuning these edits and get rid of the fat, the stuff that I don't need. So if you look at this sequence here, I have Adam asking if I want to see a test fit. I come over, and he starts talking here. So I don't want everything before this. I don't want all this garbage of me running over the zooms and Adam talking to me. So I stop my playhead right where I want it to be, right there. I hit the Q, and that kills everything to the left, all the way up to that next edit point before the playhead. So when I hit Q, it'll delete everything up to there. So boom. So now these two clips can match a little bit better. Adam is working on here, and then goes into talking here. Now let's say he is done talking about there. I don't want anything after this. So I'm going to hit the W key to get rid of everything here up to this next edit point. Boom, there. Now I have a kind of a comprehensive sequence that is taking place. So this is very helpful in quickly roughing out the main form that I want for the edit piece. I can get rid of all the stuff that I don't need using just one key, Q and W. There's other options to do. You can add edits and then delete those clips, but this way it's just a very fast way, and it's on my left hand. Q and W is just right there. So I use the right hand for JKL, the left for Q and W, and that gets me going really quickly. The next keyboard shortcut I find myself using a ton for various reasons, and I don't know why, but I love it. It is the match frame. So what match frame does, I have that set to F. What match frame does is it pulls the clip that the playhead is over into your source window, and then adding an in point and an out point to the beginning and the end of the clip in your sequence. I'll give you an example of what I would use this for. Let's say if I go way back to my edit, so when I first started, I'm like, oh, I need more of this. I need more of what was going on here. You know, I can search for this in the bins. I can, you know, right click, so reveal in project to show you what clip I use that from. But maybe I just want something after. Maybe he throws this thing onto here and I need that part, and I forgot that I didn't have it yet. So I just hit F, I load this clip up, I see where I'm at here, and then I can just move this playhead forward and find where he places that thing. So I use this for a bunch of different reasons. That's kind of one of them, but it's just great being able to show you exactly how long your clip is, from just the small amount that you use in this sequence. The next, of course, is just your simple zoom in, zoom out of the sequence. There are a bunch of different ways to do this on most keyboards. I have mine just set up very simply to minus and plus. Minus zooms out, plus zooms in. Simple as that. I don't need a modifier. I think like Alt. I used Alt minus and Alt plus for a long time, and I don't know why. So I just got rid of the Alts. I'm just using minus and plus because I go in and out of these sequences like crazy. That goes into my next shortcut, which is the zoom to sequence. So this is a way of just seeing your entire sequence very quickly. So I'm zoomed way in here doing some very microscopic edits. I hit the Shift Z and my sequence zooms out to show me the entire project up into the very first frame to the very last frame that's in this sequence. The next keyboard shortcut is the full screen. I have this set to F1. F1 is traditionally set to like your help. You hit F1 and it brings up a browser window. I don't use help often enough to have that need a shortcut. If I need to use help, I just go through the the general the windows up here. So F1, I just have it quickly so I can review. Hit the plus or hit the spacebar to play. The JKL, you jog forward. But basically, I just see a full screen. Helps when I'm color correcting. Helps when I'm just reviewing the final piece, the very end of the project. The next keys that I use most often, like the AddEdit to all tracks and AddEdit to like a selection. So I have mine set to my AddEdit to all tracks set to V. What that does is it just adds a straight edit. So if I just need this all cut through, hit V, it slices down everything, including audio. So from there, I can add an edit point and then continuing to either delete things or move things around. G will do that same thing, but for your selected tracks. So you can select tracks here, or I can like highlight them with the mouse, hit G, and it'll just create edit point right there on that one clip. So that's V and G. Those are again, I use those so that my left hand can hit them really quickly, my right hand can JKL, I can V and G and add edit to clips very quickly. So the next one I have is the T key, and that is set to track select forward. What that does is, as you can see here, my cursor turns to 2 arrows moving to the right. That essentially selects everything to the right of that. And then you can grab that and move it around if you need to kind of make space. I use this when I have maybe like an insert interview or something, or some big chunk of something I need to put in right in the middle of an edit. I can just grab everything, move it all over, and then just work here. And then when I'm done, move everything back in and collapse them and then edit those and massage those together. If you hit the shift modifier, you can turn that into like a single track. That's what to just take whatever track you're on, everything to the left of that. I don't use that one that often. If I need to select everything, it's going to be everything. So that T key brings me everything I need to the right. So these next few keys I have are really the ones that I use when I fine tune an edit, when I'm really starting to massage everything to be a finalized piece. And this uses a combination of the keys and the mouse together. The first one is the R key. That's like the rolling edit tool. I use this to do like some L cuts or J cuts. It basically turns your cursor here into this little thing here. You go to an edit point and you click and hold, and then you can kind of roll a clip backwards. So what this is doing is it's basically it's trimming the clip to the left and adding more of the clip to the right to kind of cover for that. This is when I want to like, see, like I'm bringing in the dialogue, doing an L cut here. I'm bringing the dialogue in underneath the next clip, and you can do this with audio as well. Any point you have an edit, you just need to move around. Use the R tool for that. I also do some L cuts with like that T key again. So I all this audio right here is blank. It's not nothing. I can just move this all over with the R key, or actually just move this all over and take the T key, grab everything and move everything over. And that gives me kind of a similar thing, but a little bit more, it's a little tighter because I've got rid of that blank audio. But that's the R key. R key is the rolling edit tool. Lastly, this is actually this is one I used early on, but I figure I'll show you now. This is the set poster frame. So you can see, especially for one-day builds, you had a lot of clips. And there's a lot going on in these, and sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's just a few little scenes that kind of represent what that clip is best at. But oftentimes, if I don't start shooting right, it'll be maybe a few seconds of like the floor, and then it'll be Adam doing something. So looking at this representation, I can see all my clips, but they don't always represent what's best on the clip. So if I kind of scrub through here, I can see, okay, so the very first frame it took was Adam with his hairdryer, but maybe a better part, or a more important part that I should know is that Adam is talking to the camera. This might be something important. So I can select a point here by dragging over with the cursor to Adam in speech, in dialogue. I need to know this when I'm starting to edit. So what Shift 1 does is it sets the poster frame, which means that hitting Shift 1 will now set this clip to use that frame that I stopped on. So when I'm just like looking at everything from abroad, I can see, okay, yeah, there's a scene where Adam is talking, instead of just using that first random frame of a blow dryer. So this is something I do when I'm very first start logging and inputting footage into Premiere's. I kind of go through and check out what each clip is, set poster frames to make sure that I'm not missing anything, or I know which clips are the most important ones. And then I just go ahead and start editing. So that's a few of them. That's a few of my favorites. I have a ton of different ones, but those are the ones that I probably use the most of as I'm doing, especially these build videos. As I'm doing these build videos, and they kind of represent the different stages: the logging, the kind of the rough shaping of the piece, and then going through and really fine tuning those things using both the mouse and the keyboard. So I hope this was helpful in some way, or interesting at all. If you are an editor yourself and you have some other keyboard shortcut keys you like, let me know. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Goodbye.